Welcome to the astrology for the week of October 29th through November 4th of this year. So on October 29th, we have an opposition of Mercury to, well, when I say that, I mean a conjunction of Mercury to Mars. So this conjunction is all about our decisions are very quick, so we can make very quick decisions. We can snap to something that we want to do and go after that decision that we made. We're feeling very decisive, and Mercury and Mars are both in Scorpio, so that's a very, very pinpointed sign that knows what it wants to go after and has no second thoughts about what it wants in life. So the piece about decision making, for those who are more indecisive or contemplative, they can find a kind of strength that they never thought that they had, where they can say, yep, this is what I want, and go right towards it. Another indication of a conjunction of Mercury and Mars can be a mind that is very sharp, thinking very, very well, very efficiently, very productively, and very usefully. This is great energy for initiating any goal, especially if, it requires a kind of mental focus where you have to get something off the ground first. Now, because Mars rules Aries, and Aries is an initiating sign, it can be good for initiating something brand new and having a lot of focus and action pointed in that direction. Because the thing about Mercury and Mars is that they're both very decisive energies that they can bind together. Mars is your desires, your energy, and Mercury is your mind. So if it is a novel that you want to start writing, or if it's a book that you want to start reading, or a new job, or whatever it is, whatever project it may be, this is a good time to initiate it because there's a certain energy and strength that comes in with Mercury conjunct Mars to have you initiate something. It gives you a lot of power, and it's like a permission slip from the universe. This is your opportunity to initiate something. So you may find that you're more assertive when it comes to what you're wanting in life as well, especially as Mercury and Mars are both in Scorpio. So you're more willing to stand up for yourself and address your need and want for just whatever you're chasing down, whatever prize at the end of a long running race that you want to achieve, whatever mountaintop that you're trying to get to as you're climbing up a certain mountain. But the other sort of manifestation of this, especially as it's in a Mars ruled sign of Scorpio, is you may be more aggressive, more willing to push others down, to get the chicken to prepare your dish from that freezer in that competition. You may be more aggressive in the sense that you don't care who you're going to be hurting in your efforts to get what you want. So those aggressive tendencies and those look upon ways of being need to be examined really, really closely before taking action. So this aspect applies not only for Sunday the 29th, but also just any day around that point. So there's just more of an aggressive tendency that comes in here. Another thing is you may act without thinking about your actions, thinking about your words of what you're going to say. And that may stab you in the backside if you're not careful. So that is definitely something to keep in mind with that aspect. So there's really this clear piece with acting before thinking that comes to mind, and it doesn't require much explanation at all. Okay. So there may be a frustration with this energy. So you may feel more frustrated. Now is the time to channel that frustration and channel that anger you have into more productive aspects of your life. So being productive about the anger and the frustration. So doing something about it. So a couple of questions to ask yourself is, why are you fighting? And what are you fighting for? So knowing why and what you're fighting for, having a really, really clear answer to that. What do you desire to take action on? Now's the time to take action on it. Where will you put your focus? So where you put your focus and mental energy? So another huge piece here is controlling your ego. Not letting your ego get out of hand. And now's the time for self-expression. So this is about expressing whatever is true for you within yourself. Speak what is on your mind now. So now's the time to verbalize the feelings and thoughts and ideas that we have in a much more strong and empowered way. Now the final thing that comes to mind is you may feel more impatient, more ready to take action on what you want. You're not willing to wait to get started on it. Now, the next aspect for this week is on October 31st. Venus is trine with Uranus. So a trine is a beautiful aspect of harmony where the planets can jive together and can come together and really bounce off a lot of ideas off of each other. Their energies can be coalescing and combining in a very comfortable, warm, and abundant way when there is a trine. The trines are one of the more positive aspects in astrology that bring a lot of luck, growth, and good fortune. However, we may not see the good fortune. And we may be lazy when it comes to actually doing something with the energy of a trine. It may require us to look at that window of opportunity with our eyes peeled in the vines and seeing that opportunity and then taking action on it when we happen to come upon, here's the opportunity. And what are you going to do with it? That's really the question. So when Venus is trying to Uranus, there can be some experimentation with beauty, trying new clothes on, new hair and makeup styles, whatever that beauty is for you, new paintings, new music. This is also a great time to buy things that are beautiful, that you're attracted to in the store. You may find a new shirt or a box or a kitchen knife or whatever you find to be beautiful for you. You now is an opportunity to invest that money into that thing. So now's the time to try something brand new, whatever it is. Maybe it could be a time where you're spicing up your relationships, where certain things have been stagnant. And you may need more excitement and more freedom within your relationships. So it's a good opportunity to look at where does your relationships need some oomph, some chutzpah, some fun. Maybe you can say, hey, to whoever you're in a relationship with, let's go out and do something different. And when they say no, the aspect shuts itself down in the external way. But this aspect does not shut itself down when you can do something brand new. We don't have to rely on other people to give us what we want. We can be self-sufficient. We can be independent. We can take a walk by ourselves. We don't have to rely on somebody else to take a walk for us. And so if you watch this and you initiate something new and that person does not respond with ease and flexicity and does not respond with an open mind and a willingness to do it, then you need to be the one to do it by yourself and enjoy the trying something new and the new pleasure and the new treasure by yourself on your own accord. Because I think that the North Node in Aries is really having us move towards independence as opposed to codependency. And it's really having us move towards doing things that are most suitable for us and that are not most suitable for whoever we're in a relationship with. That we're not trying to make the other person like us or love us, or we're not trying to be so accommodating and pleasing to the other person. We're really moving in a direction of individuality and autonomy, that we can steer our ship of life by ourselves and we don't need anyone else to do that for us. So this personal aspect between a personal planet Venus and Uranus could be a time where we might need some personal freedom, where we need to know who we are, be who we are, as opposed to look to others to define who we are. Because when we do that, we are getting ourselves in enmeshment to their own projections of who we are. And that is the Libra shadow of the understanding that when people tell you who you are, it's really an indication of who they are, not who you are. You need to validate and you need to know who you are beyond external validation, beyond whatever your family or your peers or colleagues think of you, because that's really who they are. So let's not forget about that. So we can find a lot of freedom during this time to try new things, to experiment, to just do things where we can discover who we are. Self-discovery within itself can be a beautiful thing. Maybe we find pleasure in brand new things that we have not found pleasure in before. Maybe we like to watch a certain show or play a certain game or eat a certain food that we thought that we would not like, but when we tried it, we loved it, for instance, or we found an interest and liking for it. So maybe there are some new things that you maybe haven't started yet, or new things that you want to start but you haven't yet, that you think are good ideas to initiate. It's a great opportunity to have some fun and change something up and to start that new thing and to get a new book and start reading it, get a new game and start playing it, and discover how you feel about it and if you like it or not. Now is the time to be open-minded. Now's the time for authentic self-expression, whatever that may be for you. So the big question is, where have you held back parts of yourself? These parts of you are the true parts of you, are the freedom-loving parts of you. These parts of you are what you've hidden away in your closet, what you've hidden away in the shadows of what you've repressed or moved away from. But now is the opportunity to let these parts of yourself out and let them have a voice at the table. Maybe there are some new things that are in the spectrum of love and beauty that you've never tried before, new love languages, or new forms of relating to others, or new hairstyles, or whatever it may be that relates to love and beauty, that corresponds to love and beauty, that are brand new for you. So you may feel called to explore more interesting stuff during this time. And something to keep in your back pocket is to expect the unexpected, because unexpected things may happen. Strange things may happen, and you probably didn't see that curveball go down the road, but now you see it, and now's the time to, respond to that kind of opportunity. This is also great for meeting new people, especially if they are eccentric, and to have conversations with them, to get to know them. Maybe it could not be new people, but maybe communicating with the people that you already know, that are in your workplace, that are at your home, and getting to know them on a deeper level, getting to have this kind of easy breezy intellectual conversations with them, where you are sharing ideas and they're sharing ideas, and you're letting them know who you are and they're letting you know who you are. Maybe it could be learning new information concerning who they are and telling other people who you are. Because there's real power in positive, healthy conversations when we can be open to learning and to receiving. So there's an aspect going on November 2nd that is the Sun opposite Jupiter. So the opposition is that 180-degree angle where we have the Sun in Scorpio opposite Jupiter in Taurus. They're standing right across the sky from each other. And whenever we have hard aspects to Jupiter, we're talking about what are we overdoing? What are we overindulging in? What are we going to excess about that we need to cut down? So Jupiter is not a cutting down type energy. Jupiter is an expander. It blows things up. It can make things bigger and out of proportion, because Jupiterian energy is an exaggerated energy. It's an energy that wants to make things bigger and brighter and bolder and more fantastic than they actually are. Jupiter energy is an energy that wants to just blow things up, because Jupiter is, I think, 100 times the size of Earth, or some astronomical fact out there. So Jupiter is all about growth. Wherever it goes, it just expands out. It just wants more. It just wants to become bigger and more stretched out. So, what are we, first of all, I just want to ask you, what are you overdoing in your life? Maybe it is eating too much sugar. Maybe it's watching too many videos. Maybe it is drinking too much caffeine. whatever it may be that you may be overdoing, because this aspect could have you wanting more and more and more and more and more of whatever you want, especially when it comes to your self-confidence and your self-expression, because those are all the sun qualities: self-expression, power, authority, autonomy. These are all sun, these are all words and characteristics and traits that relate to the sun. So it's a good opportunity to not overdo it. However, this aspect can bring a lot of luck and good fortune and opportunities for growth your way. And it's also important to not let that good fortune go to your head, to not get so caught up in it in a negative way. But you may have a stronger sense of self-confidence, of knowing what you want to go after, of knowing why you're here and what you want in your life. It's as simple as that. Maybe it's more confident in your talents, in your gifts, in your abilities, in your generous spirit, in what you love in life, in what you know yourself to be. Self-confidence in terms of what you value, what's important to you, what you like and don't like, what you keep going after that you know that you want, but you keep yourself from it, but now's the time to go after it. Now, the downside of this aspect is being self-righteous. And maybe it could also be thinking and believing that you aren't enough, or that you don't have enough of whatever you like in your life. And it's really important to know that you do have enough of whatever it is that you want more of. And it's important to be thankful for what you have and the quantity of it that you have. Because then when you're in that space of being thankful, I don't want to use the G word because anyway, I've heard that being preached on by many people. When you're in that space of being thankful, it lets the universe know that, yes, I'm in this perfect state and I'm content with what I have. Therefore, I am going to just sit back and allow myself to receive this and be happy for what I have now. And therefore, the universe gets a signal that tells that you're telling it that you want more of it while you're being happy with what you have. When you're happy with what you have now, you manifest more of it. So any old, outdated belief where, um, it may be, that you don't have enough, or that you're not enough, that you're not worthy as you are. Now's the time to let those things go, that don't seem to serve you anymore. Now, on November 3rd, we have an opposition of Venus to Neptune. So it's very, very important with this opposition to be very careful and wary of people who try to sell you stuff, because they may have ulterior motives beyond what lies on the surface. So being very discerning about that and knowing who you trust, because someone may sell you something, or if you're out in the world and you go about your life, someone may try to sell you something and convince you of something that you want to believe, and it sounds so real and so fruitful and so positive, but it could be a scheme. So being very, very careful about that. So certain beauty products and other means of pleasure may be deceiving. Maybe you think this like let's say you get a bottle of hair dye for your hair, and you don't read the instructions correctly, or you don't read the bottle fully, and then you put it in your hair and then you regret it later on. That's what I'm talking about here. So maybe you order something off a menu that you think that you'll like and it sounds so good, but it actually turned out not to be the way that you thought that it was. Because the thing with Neptunian energy is it can be a trickster, it can be a deceiver, where it puts this cloud and it puts this paint and these rose-colored glasses around it, where you think that you'll like it, but you really don't like it, or you hate it. So there's this illusion of something to sort of put up a wall and put up a barrier to show you, um, what it is. But when you really dig down into it, you'll find that it's not what you thought that it was. So this is a great time to buy and experiment with new forms of beauty and clothes, sort of similar to the Venus trine Uranus energy. It's good for buying new clothes or new beauty products or whatever it may be, or it may not be good for that. I mean, either way, it's good, it's not good. It's positive, it's not positive. It's favorable, it's not favorable. Depends upon how you're going about the energy. If you're going about the energy in a way that is not really digging down into the depths of things and not finding the real answers, not finding the real meat and potatoes, then you could be sorry for whatever you buy or whoever you trust and put your faith in terms of Venus ruled matters. Maybe it is a new job that new job offer that looks so good on the surface of things, but then when you dig down into it, it's really not what you thought that it was. And it could also be in terms of buying a house is the other example that's coming to mind, or a new house, or a new couch that you thought would be so comfortable, looks so good, but it actually looks ugly, and you can't seem to adjust to it. So it's those kinds of things where you may need to be more mindful. So, um, the other thing is maybe you're over idealizing love, thinking that the relationship is much better, much more special, much more lovely than it actually is. So if something seems, or if someone seems too good to be true, then they are too good to be true. So maybe you're in a relationship where there's some issues going on, and instead of facing those issues, you just going up into your cloud land and you make up all of these lies to yourself and about the relationship that it serves you, that it works for you, that's permissible for you, this relationship is helpful for you, beneficial for you, but it actually isn't healthy for you. Or maybe you lie to yourself about something, about some kind of aspect of your life that you're not being true to yourself with. Where you tell yourself one thing, but really your intuition and your soul is calling you to believe and to just surrender to the truth of what is going on in your life. So it's important to look at where do you continually go on a hamster wheel of lying to yourself, being, deceiving to yourself. So it's not wise to get caught up in your fantasies at this time, because your fantasies are away from reality, to live here and now in reality, and not choose an alternate reality that is not the 3D reality. And so this is also a good transit to enjoy beauty, because you may be more tuned to what you find beautiful or what you like that is artistic. So on November 4th, we have a stationing of Saturn stationing direct at 0 degrees of Pisces. So Saturn, I'm just going to give you a little timeline of events to think about. So Saturn entered Pisces in March of 2023. It entered the pre-shadow at 0 degrees of Pisces. On June 17th, it stationed retrograde at 7 degrees of Pisces. And throughout the whole summer, it moved back up until now, up until November 4th, to 0 degrees of Pisces. And so now Saturn is going to station direct, it's going to stand still in the sky, and then it is going to move forward. Once again, and cover the post-shadow of Pisces. So this may be a wrap-up of certain lessons and themes in our Pisces house of our natal chart with regards to Piscean themes involving spirituality, empathy, compassion, boundaries. All of these things that we have contemplated, that we've done some digging and some introspection and some reflection and an inventory. Whenever a planet goes retrograde, we're turning inward. We're doing a cleaning of house. We're doing an inventory. We are doing an introspective inspection look on ourselves with regard to whatever the planet in that given sign is all about. So when Saturn stations direct, now it may be a reality check where you face the reality of what is going on and you face the reality of what does not work for you anymore and what you must change and what you must do to live a better, more fulfilling, and more meaningful life, especially with regards to maybe there's a spiritual practice that you kept saying that you would do, and now's the time to initiate it. Maybe it is strengthening your intuition, or whatever it may be that you would need to initiate at this time. Or maybe you didn't put in the hard work or the discipline or the focus in this particular area of your life, that now that Saturn is coming to a station, coming to a standstill, you're realizing that you need to put more effort into this, and you need to get out of your bubble and get your head out of the clouds and come back down to reality and really put in the work. Now, also on November 4th, we have an opposition of Mercury and Uranus. So Mercury opposite Uranus. So Mercury and Uranus, Mercury is the lower mind. It rules over communication. It rules over your intellect. It rules over your thoughts on a day-to-day level. So Mercury is the messenger. Mercury is the, what you're communicating, and how you're learning information from the outside world. Uranus is, what Uranus energy is it's a liberation energy. It really turns the tables over, and it can be a slap in the face, an abrupt out of the blue energy that tells you this is what you need to change to be more true to yourself. And Uranus energy, especially Uranus transits, can be very liberating, but they can be a rude awakening for those that have kept on doing what they know doesn't work, but kept on sticking to the same thing because they don't want change, and they want to stick with what they're comfortable with. So Uranus is about freedom. It's a maverick energy. It's about revolution. It's about sudden upheavals. It is about radical new ideas that came out of nowhere, like a light bulb or like a lightning bolt. And those ideas really catapult you into the new vision for your life, into the new quest for your life. So Uranus is very liberating in energy. So keeping your mind stimulated with a puzzle, with a book, with a video that you're watching, finding ways to keep your mind going because you may feel more restless during this time. So you may have some ideas or some flashes of insight that you realize that, that you've never had before, or maybe there's something new that you hadn't thought of before that comes to your mind right now. It may be more difficult to focus your energy, focus your mental attention because you're sort of scattered over here, over there. And it may be hard to calm yourself down during this particular time. And so this aspect is really great for meeting new people from different walks of life and learning from them and engaging with them. And it's maybe people in your world that you know right now that you want to have more personal conversations with. So you may have radical new ideas that come about at this time where it's really wise to act on those ideas and implement those into your 3D reality, whatever the ideas may be. And so this aspect may not be good for detailed work, or for work that involves a lot of focus, a lot of discipline, a lot of attention to detail. It'd be harder to stay focused on those tasks. Maybe you're viewing technology in a different light. Maybe you are so used to doing something this way, but there's actually a smarter, better, more innovative way to go about this thing, whatever you're doing. Maybe it is a new way to hook up a disk in a computer, or a new way to hang up a painting on the wall, or paint something, whatever it is. And so, you may act on impulse more so at this time. So it's going to be very, very important to think before taking action, to think before acting or speaking to something. Because you may feel like running at something, or you may feel like going at something full speed before thinking of the repercussions and the consequences of your actions. Maybe it can be so tempting because of a restless, energetic, intellectual, bold, passionate energy that you feel that you may want to just go at it with full gusto and full throttle. But now is the time to contemplate it. So this energy could be busier and more chaotic. Things sort of speed up with Mercury and Uranus in energy. And it may not be good for long-term goals. Maybe if you're planning out a goal for the long-term future, that has to be stable and put in the ground and steady when it comes to its results. It may not be the best energy for that. All right, everybody, that is your astrology for the week of October 29th of this year. And I hope that you found some value out of this video. And I will see you on another video. Bye for now.